Hello learners, and welcome to today's lesson of addition and subtraction of integers. So today we are going to be focusing on the practice and application of adding and subtracting integers. Let's get to our lesson. So remember, when we were working with addition and subtraction, we were working on the number line. And what I need to remind you here is that when we are adding positive numbers, we are going to move to the right. But when we are subtracting positive numbers, we are going to move to the left. But what you need to keep in mind as well is that the opposite of this is also true. So as we add positive numbers and we move to the right, it means if we add negative numbers, then we move to the left. The same as subtracting positive numbers, we move to the left. It means if we subtract negative numbers, we are going to move to the right. But let's look at this practically, and then we can see how it works. So now for number one, I have 8 plus a negative 6. So remember, when I am adding a positive number and a negative number, the answer will be the same sign as the one that is furthest away from 0. And in this case, 8 is the one that is furthest away from 0. So our answer is definitely going to be a positive. But again, when you look at the number line and when you are on 8, because we are adding a negative number, it means from 8, we are going to move 6 spaces to the left. And that is going to land us on our 2. So that means that our answer is going to be a positive 2. We move on to the next one, which is subtracting a positive number and a negative number. So again, you can use the number line, or you can use what you've learned about adding and subtracting integers. So now I have a negative 2 minus 6. Now if I am subtracting a positive number or a negative number, it is the same as me adding those two numbers, but the additive inverse of the one that is being subtracted. So the additive inverse of 6 is a negative 6. So this means I am going to say negative 2 plus negative 6, and that gives me a negative 8. But had I decided to use my number line, remember, I am subtracting a positive number. So from negative 2, I am going to move to the left, right? And then because I'm subtracting a positive number, I'm going to move to the left. How many spaces to the left? 6 spaces to the left. And that is going to land me on the negative 8. Then we have 9 minus our negative 3. Again, we are subtracting, which means it is the same as adding the additive inverse. The additive inverse of negative 3 is a positive 3. So 9 plus 3 is 12. But again, we can use our number line where I will be on the 9. And because we are subtracting a negative number, we are going to move the opposite direction. We are actually going to move to the right. And then that will still land us on a positive 12. Let's continue with more calculations. So now we are working with multiple operations, and remember, you have to work on either sides of the positive or the negative. In this case, we just have a subtraction. So that means we are going to work with that 2 multiplied by 7. Then we are going to subtract that with 3 plus 1. So what is a 2 multiplied by 7? That is 14. And then when I say 3 plus 1, that gives me a 4. This means that my final answer is going to be 10, because 14 minus 4 gives me a positive 10. My next calculation is 19 minus 4, open bracket, 8 plus 2. So either sides of the addition or subtraction, I'm going to work with that 4 multiplied by 8 plus 2. Now remember, you can either work out the 8 plus 2, or you can even just distribute these numbers if you want to, as you have learned in your previous lessons. So we have 19 minus, and then I have a 4. I'm first going to add those two numbers, which is 8 plus 2, and that is my 10. And then we are going to say 19 minus 40. So can you see how we are subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number? What happens in that case? This means our answer is going to be negative. And if I simply say 40 minus 19, that is going to give me a 21. That means the answer there is going to be negative 21. Number 3 says there, negative 24 plus 2, open bracket, negative 6 plus 4, close bracket, plus 9. So remember, we are working on either sides of the addition and subtraction signs. So we are going to start here with the negative 24. Then we are adding, and in those brackets there, I am going to now say negative 6 plus 4, which gives us a negative 2. And then we are going to add that 9. So we still need to work out the 2 multiplied by the negative 2. So we have there negative 24, and this is going to be plus, and 2 multiplied by a negative 2 is a negative 4. And we are going to add the 9. So after that, we are going to say a negative 24 plus a negative 4. We know that adding a negative number is the same as subtracting that natural number. So negative 24 plus negative 4 is a negative 28. And when we add the 9, our final answer is going to be a negative 19. So now we are going to be comparing integers. So we're going to look at the following numbers, and we are going to figure out whether it is smaller than the 1 or greater than the 1 or equals to the number. So now we have a negative 1 and a 6. Remember, how can we tell whether a number is smaller or greater? If it is on the right-hand side of the number line, then it is bigger or greater. And if it is on the left-hand side of the number line, then it is going to be smaller. So think of negative 1 and think of a 6. Which one is on the right and which one is on the left? If you are saying that the 6 is on the right, then you are correct, which means that the 6 is bigger than the negative 1, or the negative 1 is smaller than the 6. Then we have a negative 16 and we have a negative 23. Which one is on the left and which one is on the right? You are correct when you say the negative 16 is on the right-hand side of that negative 23, which means the negative 16 is bigger than the negative 23. What about negative 135 and 135 that is positive? Which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Now, they might look like the same value, but remember, on the number line, the positive numbers are on the right and the negative numbers are on the left. So this means that the positive 135 is actually bigger than negative 135. Then we have a 9 and a 9 divided by 1. Now remember our properties of 1. They say that any number divided by 1 will be that number. So now we have 9 divided by 1. That means it still remains 9. So which one is bigger, which one is smaller? Because we have 9 on the one side and we have 9 on the other side, this actually means that they are equal. Then we have a negative 7 and a 0. So which one is smaller and which one is bigger? Actually, because the negative 7 is on the left side of the number line, it means that the negative 7 is smaller, which actually means that the the 0 is bigger. So we say that negative 7 is smaller than 0. Let's quickly go to an ad break and then we'll see you just now.